Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey, this is Jamie Jameson, and we're on Can Crushers. Enjoy a beer with us tonight.
Ooh, gobble, gobble, gobble.
Happy Thanksgiving. It was Thursday. Today, right? That's today.
That's today.
I'm trying to play this all up. Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Mark the Mark, and that is Sir Michael Jenks. No proper introduction today because, one, we're against the wall on time. Two, the fucking turkey's in the oven. It's the only time we possibly could get the record. I just got out of like 3 hours of work, and yeah, this is the only time. And people are like, well, whatever. Find time. First and foremost, let me say this. This is the week we normally take off.
Yeah.
Right? Last year we took off. We're like,
yes.
Go fucking spend time with your family. This is supposed to be a nice for
We're already off to a great start on this holiday edition of Can Crushers, but you're right.
Spend time with your family. We couldn't go 2 weeks without Full Gear talking about.
Yeah.
It is going to be a Full Gear recap and a Survivor Series pick. Whatever happened last night, I didn't watch AEW yet. That's going to be what I fall asleep to tonight before I go to WrestleCade tomorrow. I don't even know if I recorded Raw. So let's just throw that out there. We'll catch up with all that next week. This is a major recap and predictions. But before we get to any of that, sir, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I've just trotted with turkey.
Like you're all right.
Oh no, I just trotted with turkeys. It was turkey trot day today, so I could work up an appetite for later today. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And the week has just been, it's supposed to be lighten up week at work. Everybody under their sun has been bugging me from 8 a.m. Monday until I signed off Wednesday night at about 5:30. It's been chaos for some godforsaken reason. So I am glad to be done. I've walked 5K. I'm good to go. I'm ready to stuff my face with turkey and somehow wheel my ass home to fall asleep on the couch. So that's where I'm at.
How's those legs feeling after 5K right now?
You know, a little jello-y. It's got a little jello feel to it.
Cranberry sauce?
Cranberry sauce, but I'm hoping my cranberry sauce is going to perk me right up with that glass of wine in there, that cup of wine that I put in there. So, but
mother-in-law about that, and she's like, I don't know if I'm going to get that exact wine, but there's going to be wine in it now. I'm like, there's Di Serono on top of the fridge if you want me to get it.
Just do the Di Serono. It'll work.
Yeah.
Any wine, just throw it in there. It'll taste good. So that's where I'm at. How are you?
Besides the whole car wreck incident, and I got a loaner, and, they don't know what's going on with my car at this moment yet. It's been a fucking week. Come on, for the love of Pete. I'm pausing. Like, I'm legit done now and this is going to be horrible because, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm off for 5 days. I don't care. Done. I'm going to go eat here in about an hour and a half. This isn't getting put together until I'm in North Carolina. So how about that, folks? It's recorded and not even put together. But yeah, I'm going to forget about the world. And I don't mean my family or anything. I'm going to forget about the world. I'm going to be very anti-social media while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pop in. There's going to be a lot of stuff scheduled, like right before I go to bed. There might be like hours later news stories that pop up. Listen, it's decompress time.
Yeah.
It's decompress time. As for work, holy fuck, it was like it was Christmas week. I don't know if people bought so much extra shit for Thanksgiving this year. It was unbelievable. Usually you get hit the week after a holiday.
Yeah.
Like the turkey carcass and the leftovers that people don't want. Garbage is a little bit weight heavy. This was was there like Black Friday shopping early this year that like there was TVs, there was this, there was that, and good for people that's out there supporting the everything. But goddamn, like we usually have a semi-easy week. Thank you, Bailey.
Bailey agrees.
We usually have a semi-easy week for Thanksgiving. Not this year.
Well, I've noticed that.
By the way, works great. By the way, I finally got it Sunday, and it's amazing. I think I just may wear it as I'm working all the time, no matter what.
No, that's smart because that's what I've been doing now. Is whenever I go to the gym and that, I have it on the knee and the arm and the shoulder just to kind of relax it, keep it supported and that. So it's definitely worthwhile. I really love it. It's not intrusive. It's not bulky. It's not anything like that. But
it's a support, and you can like if you feel a pull, you're like, oh, you just kind of shimmy or shimmer.
Shimmer and shine
right now. It's just like a little shimmy or shimmer, and it kind of like works itself right back in. Like it's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like what it does and how it does it. So yeah, you're gonna have to. Now there's different styles too. There's the regular one. There's the sport one that's supposed to last longer. So keep that in mind too if you go, because you only have to rotate it every 3 to 5 days or 7 days for the sport one. I think it is. But
it's regular right now because that's all our Rite Aid had.
That's fair.
I asked. I'm like, can you get the sport in? They're like, we can see, but I'm going someplace bigger this weekend. Maybe I could look around.
Hey. Maybe if you stop by a Walmart or a Target, I know Walmart has it for sure. So you could probably find it in one of those areas too. So that'll help.
Touche.
So, but glad to hear you're feeling better. The shoulder's feeling better. I've noticed the uptick in TV boxes and just Amazon boxes and shit. I think it's all the early Black Friday deals online because people are just buying shit left and right. And
for themselves, I think. Normally you would leave the boxes and give them to the people as presents.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've also become a storage place for my sister's things for her husband. So every day I come home, there's something new and exciting on my porch, and I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. This is for Paul.
What is it, though? Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Well, the one they couldn't do anything with because it's a brand new weed whacker, leaf blower.
Paul doesn't listen to this, does he?
No, Paul doesn't listen to this, so I can give it this away. But brand new, it's what he wanted. It's a battery packed weed whacker, leaf blower, and all that shit. And then he's got another gift that can. He loves new tools and he loves doing his lawn work and that. So Paul's one of those guys. He works with his hands all the time. He's a mechanic, not a mechanic, but he's a maintenance guy at actually where I work. So he's always working with his hands and stuff like that. So he's always excited by new tools and yard clippings and that. So you got something else too.
I'm gonna go outside and cut my grass right now. This is awesome yard clippings for Christmas.
Please do. I kind of I've wanted to too. I'm like, here's a nice yard for you to mow. Can you come do this?
Yeah.
It doesn't work,
Paul.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's been big boxes ever since all this week. So I'm sure there's going to be about 14 more that have come up before Christmas time, and I'll have to send them all back to her.
Are you going to get Denise's stuff and everything probably sent to your house too?
Yeah, I'm planning on. Actually, I have a bunch of stuff in the cart for all the kids, the little kids, and my niece on the Amazon cart right now. So I just have to hit buy. I'm going to look through the list probably.
$1 bill
that's pretty much it. I had to wait for the paycheck to come in before I started doing that. But I'm going to wait probably till tonight when I'm in a food coma to make that terrible decision to hit buy. So, that's just the way that goes. But I'm okay with that. It's the holiday, so get them bought up and slowly chipping away at that Christmas list.
Yeah. So, it's not going to be on the Christmas list, Jenks?
A new car.
No, the new car maybe. I don't know. It was something that pissed me off on Tuesday.
What?
That we both thought we were only waiting 7 more months. Now we have to wait 18 more months.
I was about to flip shit when I saw that. And then I'm like, oh, fucking Mark. I tried to send it to you early that day because I knew it was going to derail you. And I thought maybe you can take advantage of it and take it out on trash or something, throwing trash around or some shit. But
see it until I got home.
That's unfortunate. It
got into head. No, I'm kidding.
No.
We talk about mental health and everybody. Yeah, like, you fucking kidding me? We've been talking about it for a year on the show.
Yeah. And that's for everybody. College football 2023 is now college football 2024. At this point, they announced. I don't know what happened. I would love to know what the call was on this.
I did a deep dive.
Okay.
All teams weren't in yet. They weren't sure if they were able to use everybody's name because everybody's name, but the whole NCAA is good with paying the kids. So what pisses me off the most is we have a favorite Pitt Panther player that junior this year, hoping he doesn't decide to go out. So he was going to be on the game next year. Israel Abanikanda.
Yeah.
And kind of like that's Max, our dog's favorite player too. Like, he's finally found sports. Miggy knew sports from when he was born. He loved Miguel Cabrera. Max wasn't sure. He's still named after Max Scherzer, but he really loves Israel Abanikanda. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to have him on the football game. Pitt's going to be awesome. I'm going to run amok with them. Fix the schedule. National championship first time there. Done. Do you know what I did? Real quick, I'll let you go.
What did you got?
I turned the Xbox 360 back on.
Yeah, that's
8 weeks in with Buffalo because you have to start at the bottom.
Yeah, you got to start at the bottom, work your way up. That's how I've always done it.
8 weeks with Buffalo so far. Fixed the schedule a little bit. I'm ranked 16th, and I am 7-0. I'm legit at halftime of the game that I'm playing right now against UMass, and it's 42-0. So
nice.
I should be. I hope I'm not long at Buffalo, but what I like to do on these is Buffalo's a 1-star. I'd like to move up to a 2 or 3-star.
Yeah.
Pitt's a 4-star. Plus, it's my alma mater, so you kind of don't want to run right into that.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to just say, I'm just going to run gamut with Pitt the whole 50 years that I'm there. But you'll get other offers thrown at you all the time. I like the build to get to Pitt.
Yeah.
Will I ever do Alabama? Oh, yeah. I'd love my last year of coaching to take Alabama and tank them.
That was exactly where my head went. If I'm taking Bama, I'm starting the bench guys.
Moochie, Cody.
And some homeless guy in the corner.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. Yeah. I'm destroying that 6-star prestige that Alabama has on there.
Yep.
No, that's fair. I'm gonna probably jump back into mine because I thought about it today, but I'm so far in God of War, I gotta finish it out now. I'm just about to kick off Ragnarok, spoilers, so I'm like really fucking ready to go. I put in a lot of time, dude. I've been waking up early, putting in time.
I know
at
you
night
have,
when I've hit,
because when I wake up in the morning, I kind of bebop on one of them.
Yeah.
And you're either on, at least Facebook or something that, your little green light comes up that you're on there. So
yeah.
Like, shit, Jenks is up and I know he's getting ready to play.
I do the quick sweep of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, maybe a little TikTok, and then I go right into playing. And it's like not even that long. Some mornings I don't even turn on social media. I just go straight to the PlayStation and get after it. But I'm almost there, and I'm almost disappointed because I know the end is nigh, and I'm really I'm gonna want to play this again, and I may play the old game too again, just to do it all as one continuous story. But I'm gonna jump into NCAA. I don't know who I'm gonna play as right now because I have 13. I know you have 14, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't know who I'm gonna play as right now. But what I also like to do, and this is how nerdy I am, is I like to try to figure out what a playoff would look like, and then kind of just use those teams in like exhibition mode and play a playoff series, like games with those. So I'll see if I do that again. I kind of did that last year when I just took North Carolina, got them like 7-2 in that, and then played a playoff with them and see what kind of damage I can do. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So now for the next couple months, you guys are going to have to listen to me talk about Fight for the Fallen. As long as I can pre-order that.
I think that is pre-orderable. That's not even a word, but it's pre-ordered. You should be able to pre-order it.
I think it would be. I haven't seen it on the PlayStation 5 store yet. I know you can order it through GameStop, but GameStop, right?
Yeah, nobody wants GameStop.
No. So you're checking that out. I know you are.
You know I am.
I have to bring up one more thing as you're checking that out. And I forgot to do this last week because this was, you know, I'm a Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. I am an anti-hero. I really am. My wife and I were going to go in Pittsburgh. But clearly, we got stuck in the line, and we're done. My son and his friends, though, had the pre-sale of the pre-sale code. He comes home, and he tells me, we got Taylor Swift tickets. And I'm like, all right, cool. He's going. The little son of a bitch is going. Fine and dandy. I'm like, where are you sitting? And the cool thing is, he's sitting in section 112, okay, which is our Pitt Panther. So it's meant to be. He paid $584 for those tickets.
What? Oh, what? No.
Yes, he did. Like, he's been saving up for a car. March, he could get his license, and he took some of his car money, and I'm going to take the rest of it probably for my car. Yeah, he took some of his car money and bought these Taylor Swift tickets. And it's not for like $584 for the group. That's his seat. His seat alone. So I bring to you, Mr. Jenks. Who you paying $584 to go see in your life? Anybody. I mean, because we're older and we can we're fantasy buying tickets because whatever. Give me two.
All right, two. So I'll eliminate this one right off the bat for everybody. Like, well, why aren't you going to pick them? Foo Fighters, I've seen in concert. I will pay the normal ticket prices for them. Phenomenal concerts. We're done with that. I'm taking, I think this one's pretty obvious, the Beatles. But I'm also going to take Queen with Freddie Mercury because I think that I've always gone back to watch the Live Aid concerts and anything live with them. I think that would be a fantastic show, and I'd pay that money to see that happen one more time. So I'd pay $585 to see Queen and the Beatles rock it out.
Are you saying it's a together concert?
No,
that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would be fantastic. I'd pay $1,000 to see that together. But I would say I was talking separately, but man, goddamn, what a hell of a lineup that would be. Jesus Christ, I didn't even think of that.
Well, the way you said it, I thought.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Separately, that makes sense. So I thought long and hard, and I'm like, dude, can I? We're kind of complete different paths. We like country, so we've seen Luke a couple times. I've seen Garth a couple times. I wouldn't pay that to see them. Get ready for the hate. I love Nickelback. I'm not paying that much to see them.
Dude, you can't say get ready for the hate, but then say I love Nickelback, but I'm not paying that. I thought you were going to say Nickelback.
I got razzed when we were at the Seawolves because I like Nickelback.
Listen, I like Nickelback too. I thought you were going to say Nickelback.
No.
Okay.
I've seen them enough.
I've seen them enough.
Going back to my childhood, Alabama was all, but one is Jeff has just recently passed. No, I don't know. So I have to agree. Hey, I can only think of one.
Yeah. And
it is Queen.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I don't know if it's because I've been listening to more Queen recently. Again, I just rewatched Bohemian Rhapsody just because it's just a singing, type of thing. I don't know if I could name another one. I'm struggling to pay $200, and it's not happening, by the way. I said I'm struggling and I'm joking, to meet The Undertaker. And listen, wrestling is 10 times head and above concerts to me.
Right.
I wouldn't pay that much to see The Undertaker. So if I'm forced to pick one, it's Queen.
Yeah.
But it would have to be like at the Aid, where it's a whole day event, where it's Queen, the Beatles, Nickelback, Avril Lavigne, maybe Britney Spears comes out and dances. Like, I'm planning, it's got to be a huge Jenks Aid or something like that.
Yeah.
Solo concert, I would love to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I love Taylor Swift, but not happening.
Not 584. Like, if it was front row Queen, I would make that plunge. Right. So that's where my head goes. Now, if we're talking, I thought, before you said section 112, I was assuming
Ethan was on stage with her?
He was like, literally right there.
No. Section 112, so everybody knows, at Acrisure Stadium is visitor side for either the Steelers and or Pitt. So it's on the opposite side, and it's about the 35-yard line, 40-yard line, in between there. Maybe it's 37 and a half. Screw it. 37 and a half yard line on the north side, not the open-ended side, so on the north side. I think it's going to be a great view because she has an extended stay. I think it's going to be a great view, but what?
584 for that. Yeah, okay. I'll say no to that. I'm talking front row. If I'm front looking straight at him, I'd pay it.
Yeah, getting sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. When I saw Foo Fighters in RFK Stadium, RFK falling apart. I could go on a rant about RFK Stadium, but we saw Foo Fighters in RFK Stadium, $80. We were in the stands, but we got an all-day concert with Buddy Guy, Hart, Joan Jett. List goes on. There was a ton of Gary Clark Jr. There was a ton of performance. LL Cool J was there. All of them led up to Foo Fighters, which was the 9:00 show. So from 1 to 9, you had a festival of things, and you could have bought, I think it was like $120 for the tickets to get on the field, have barbecue, whatever. Like, they had everything on the field as well. But we chose the $80 ones because we didn't want to get caught in the rain when we did it. But it was a great concert, and I was happy to pay that $80. Knowing now what inflation could be, I don't know if I'd pay 200. Let's say it's 200 now. I don't know if I'd pay that 200 to go see everybody. It's a hell of a commitment. I'm a tightwad a lot of the times. I'm not dropping money just to drop money. I mean, good Lord, I spent 6 months waiting to buy my PS4 because I was like, I don't really want to buy this, but I really want to get it. But got it. Yeah. So I think it's your preference and what you want to see in that. Maybe hindsight now that I did that concert all the way through, $80 was fine, 200 is terrible. If I was 7 years younger like I was back then, maybe I would have paid the 200 and said, fuck it, we'll see what happens. But 584, if I'm not there high-fiving and singing Shake It Off with Tay-Tay, I'm not paying that. I don't know. But that's me.
This is it. I'm giving it that this is his first big experience. He didn't take out a loan. He didn't ask mom and dad for the money. He's working his ass off. Like, this week, he's got damn near 35 hours as a 16-year-old kid.
Damn. And you know what? I don't
follow him right now. That's why we have to wait until the freaking turkey's done for him, because he doesn't get done until 2:00.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's his first experience. Let him live his life. It's his money. Let him live it. Enjoy it. He's going to have a phenomenal time at that concert. He is probably the ultimate showman right now, one of them in the industry.
Yep.
Let it go. Let him have it. Let him enjoy it. So,
yeah, it's been up since this whole DC trip that he had. So,
yeah.
Just get the fuck out of the house. No.
Get going.
Get out of here, kid. So,
good luck.
Yeah. I'm going to spoil it right now. And new 6-pack champion of Can Crushers, Sir Michael Jenks.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
Year and a half.
You know, it feels like a light has finally been shined on me. I'm fighting, I'm no longer chasing. The devil has gotten his due, ironically enough, with AEW and this. So I'm hoping not to be a transitional champion, but we'll see how that goes. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of on the lamb, so I don't know who your first defense is going to be against.
You know,
It's not going to be a Survivor Series.
yeah. You know, I'm perfectly content sitting here with my title, just sitting, observing the land, enjoying this throne that you have kept warm for the past year and a half. So that's all I'm going to say. That look was priceless.
Fuck yourself, Jinx. We'll get to the ones that screwed me. And to wrap up this first segment, you guys didn't think you were only getting 2 segments. To wrap up this first segment, since it is Thanksgiving, all right? And yes, people that do listen to Busted Open and any place else, I'm stealing this. And I also put it up on Facebook today. So, actually, yeah, it's going to be up on today. So if you guys didn't see it on Thanksgiving and you're just listening to it on Saturday, because that's when this is coming out, goddamn, think of all that. You know, when we record Friday nights or Saturdays, rough enough. This is recording Thursday for Saturday, and I don't know what the hell's going on. Nonetheless, Jenks, you have 4 wrestlers. Which 4 wrestlers? Holy fuck, I can't even get the question right. Or maybe I should read it off his Facebook. What 4 wrestlers are you inviting to Thanksgiving? Dead or alive? Because this is fantasy anyway.
4 wrestlers inviting to Thanksgiving. Okay, this one's a joke one. I don't count it as my 4, but I'm inviting the gobbledygooker so I can have a turkey. But so my 4, damn, you never give me prep time. I hate that. So all right, I'm going Bret Hart so I can hear him bash Goldberg over and over again. I want to go Macho Man. I think Macho Man would provide some entertainment, cutting promos on turkeys and creams of the corn, if you will. Give me. Damn, I gotta pick. See, I took up too many spots. Give me
2?
Big E. No, because I was gonna go. My brain's go New Day. I would love to see New Day in a whole, but give me Big E because I think Big E would just be a whole ball of entertainment. And then, oh man, 4th one. Let's go. Fuck it, let's go Undertaker. We'll go Undertaker on that one. He debuted.
Good time.
I'm going for a good time. Enjoying it. Stories. I want stories. I want to hear Bret Hart go off. I want to hear Big E defend Goldberg in some capacity because big meaty men slapping meat. His dream match is Goldberg. You know, I'm just looking and, you know, just having a good time. Just enjoying it. How about you?
I'm a shit stirrer. Listen, I'm inviting Kenny Omega.
Oh my God. Are you doing this?
CM Punk.
Jesus Christ.
Britt Baker.
Okay.
And Thunder Rosa.
Oh my God.
And let it all hang out.
You want a fucking food fight at your place. Now, wait a minute. Now, Kenny Omega said today, I think it was, we got to just let it go, man. It was what it was.
Yeah.
So, but, you are a shit kicker.
They're in the shit.
I was going to say.
I guess it doesn't have to be Britt as of right now. It could be Tony Storm. It could be Jamie Hayter. It could be Jade Cargill. It could be anybody in the AEW women's locker room right now.
Yeah.
Tony Khan.
Well, you might as well take the leader of the locker room, which I think is Britt. So.
And hopefully, as I'm standing in line today, because, guys, if you don't know, you're listening to this. We're recording Thanksgiving morning. I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in line to meet Jamie Hayter, Saraya, Thunder Rosa, so on and so on. So hopefully Thunder's not like, oh man, new Can Crushers came out early this morning. I better listen to this. And I go walking up saying, look at my tattoo. She's like, go fuck yourself.
Can you delay it for till about 6 o'clock at night?
No. Again,
right.
In all, I hope she recovers from her injury.
Yeah.
But I'm one that the interim just needs to go away. So
no, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Interim goes away. Hopefully she recovers, but stir the shit. And you know what?
And I'm hitting record the whole time, by the way, too.
Oh yeah, you got to. Can Crushers exclusive. I thought about throwing Austin in there just to have some drunk uncle action going on and see how that goes. But we'll take it baby steps. We'll take what I get. We'll have a little bit of shit stirring, but nothing too crazy.
I wouldn't mind it sitting with yours though. Yours would be some great stories. Mine's just an outright Martinez family gathering.
I wouldn't mind sitting with yours just to hear what the hell transpires. I feel like Omega and Punk wouldn't get maybe would get animated, but not as animated as we probably hope. I feel like it'd be the Young Bucks that would poke that bear a little bit more than Kenny Omega would. But anybody with Thunder, that's gonna happen.
All right, we wasted enough time. Let's get in.
All right,
let's take a break. Tell you everything real quick. Because it's Thanksgiving, you don't need to listen to me talk about Collar and Elbow and the cool stuff they have. Just use the promo code Can Crushers. You'll save 10%. Anywhere on the internet, you'll find us. Listen, subscribe. I'm not poking the bear today. Can Crushers 69 is our email, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Hive.
Oh, Hive, huh?
Yeah, I don't understand it. But on Wednesday, I posted the Jock Sampson one on there. By the way, if you have not listened to the Jock Sampson Spotlight, don't have a child in the room, if you don't like C words or F's or anything like that, don't listen. Jock speaks his mind about IWC, how much he hates Cole Carter, how much he hates Justin Plummer. It is the best but worst possible spotlight I've ever had, and I loved every second with it. MFers across the board. So go back and listen to it as your family's getting drunk today on Thanksgiving. All right, here comes Al to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. We'll come back, deep dive into Full Gear, and then in our third segment, rather quickly, we'll give you our Survivor Series prediction.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, I'm Jenny Santana, and since everyone needs a garbage man in their life, check out Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Mark and Mike here. A little bit of a different way we're doing the podcast today. If you're just joining us now in the second segment, I don't know why the hell you do that. I say this all the time, but hey, maybe you just don't like us talking and you fast forward. We're just doing Full Gear and Survivor Series. So let's do our Full Gear recap. Champ, I don't know where you want to start, so I don't want to be stepping on your toes, sir.
I mean,
when did you get to watch it? Because I know you had a busy weekend.
I had a busy weekend. I watched it on Sunday afternoon, starting about mid-afternoon. after I got home. I plopped on the couch and sat there for 4 hours and watched all of it. So that's kind of where I was at. When did you get to watch it? Did you watched it live, right?
I did, because, by the way, we went to that pit game last weekend, and I think Kelly's just thawing out right now. Great win, big win, awesome win over Duke. Holy Christ. It was no warmer than 20 degrees there in the sun. And I wore sneakers because, listen, I live in boots all the time. And they would have kept my feet warmer. That was the only thing cold on me, was my feet. Even with 2 pair of socks, my feet were cold. And I'm like, oh. But after the game, from leaving the stadium to driveway, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a 20-minute walk to our parking spot. So under 2 hours from Pittsburgh to home.
Wow. Good job.
Even had that buffer time, probably like a half an hour buffer before the 0 hour started to take a shower and warm up and get something else to eat real quick.
Lucky. Very nice.
Yeah.
When I left
Nobody fell
Pittsburgh,
asleep, so it was fucking fair game.
That's fair. When I left Pittsburgh, it was about 6:30. Ended up taking a detour in Grove City, so I did not get back to my girlfriend's house until about 10 o'clock last night on Saturday night. So I'm like, there's no fucking way. Even if I wanted to watch this, it's
Not on a replay. You would have been up 4 o'clock in the morning.
I would have been up till 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, all right, it's done. It's over with. Sunday afternoon, I just waited till I got home. Sunday afternoon, turned it on, watched the pay-per-view, and watched the beginning to end, and did it in about 4 hours flat. So
You didn't get 0 hour, though, right?
I didn't get 0 hours, so that's unfortunate. I was going to try to see if I can find it. I think it might be on YouTube at some point, but I didn't get a chance to watch that. So
I'll run through it real quick. The fact versus best friends Rocky and question mark. Well, everybody knew the question mark was Danhausen. And we definitely didn't make a prediction on this one.
No, it had just been added, I think.
Yeah. Back and forth match. I don't know. It was all right. You know, it did what it had to do. Danhausen came out at the end with his teeth, put them in people's mouths. Evilhausen gets the win. Fine and dandy. Brian Cage against Starks. Essentially the same thing that you predicted last week. And this is where we actually started. We both picked Starks to win.
Right.
Got that one correct. What we didn't know, because they said it the wrong way the whole fucking time they were talking about Full Gear, was Ethan Page, the finalist, was supposed to happen that night.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't they say that for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
That's what it seemed like. Everything was happening at Full Gear. And
well,
apparently not.
It happened last night.
Yeah, it did.
Or Wednesday for you guys listening, because whatever. It happened earlier this week, and we don't know because none of us has watched it. We have shit going on in our lives. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Maybe. But exactly what you said. The whole Starks gets his ass kicked for a little bit, recovers.
Nice.
It's the Starks show. So I wonder what actually happened last night. I wonder if it's going to be Starks.
See, it's throwing so many monkey wrenches in the thing. Now with the days off, they don't have the luxury of saying, oh, hey, Starks is injured or Starks is beat up, so Paige can get that easy win and taunt it and use the easy, cheap heel heat, right? Now it's, okay, Starks has had a couple days to recover. This is a fresh match. I feel like this favors Starks Wednesday night. So I can't imagine him losing. I think I'd be more shocked now with this development of Starks and Paige. If Paige wins now, I think I'd be more shocked by that than Starks taking it. Yep.
Exactly. We got a Fight Forever promo here. They also ran it again, I believe, during the show.
Yeah.
But the first thing I noticed on Fight Forever, CM Punk is now not on the cover. Kenny Omega is now front and center.
He is not. And do you think? Well, obviously he's got to be still in the game. There's probably too late in the process to take him out, or because they haven't really announced a target date to release.
First is always what I've seen now for 6 months.
Yeah.
Now it's just coming soon. You have to think if it was December 31st, they would say that date this late in the year, right?
Yeah. If it was
I think it's bumped again.
I think it got bumped. I think they're considering replacing Punk in it and removing him. There's ways to do it to pull these guys out of code. I mean, I've seen TikToks come up where people can dig into the codes of old games and they find different wrestlers. I can't remember. It was a lot of the Here Comes the Pain, the SmackDown versus Raw ones, where they'd find litany of wrestlers, but they were removed from the game, but they just weren't removed all the way from the code. So there's a way to do it, and probably in short order. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not until March time frame, maybe.
Yep.
But
when's the next Revolution's roughly then, right?
Beginning of March. So
yeah.
Right around then might be
that would
coincide
be
with Revolution. Yeah.
That would be smart. So I think that's an easy, as long as he's not too ingrained in the whole story mode.
That's the thing, yeah.
Think it would be okay and I'm not a coder. I don't know, whatever. I barely create my people in wrestling. I think it would just be like, take him out.
Yep.
But if you've already had some of them go to silver already because the whole, silver, gold, diamond, platinum,
yeah.
That's the way the games go. If it goes to silver already, well, fuck, now you're pulling a lot back.
Oh, yeah.
So, it got me excited at least, though. It looks good.
It
So
does look legitimate. Yeah.
Kingston against Akiyama. Holy shit. Jenks, if you can find the 0 hour for anything, this was unbelievable. Oh my God.
This was the match I really wanted to see on 0 Hour, was Kingston Aki and him, because I just can't.
Akiyama.
I burped in the middle of that, so excuse me, guys, but that's why I couldn't get it out. I'm like, I'm not trying again. But Akiyama, it was. I just wanted to see this so freaking bad. But
strong style, fisticuffs. We couldn't give it justice. It literally chef's kiss. Like, it should have been on the main card. But to say that, as we trickle to the main card, I'm going to ruin it. There wasn't a bad match on this card. But there's got to be one that's worse than all the other ones. And I hate to say this. Like, all of them told the story, did whatever they needed to do, and we'll get there. Jenks, first and foremost, this is where you took the lead and you never fucking looked back.
Yeah.
What a way to start a pay-per-view. Just decimating Jungle Boy, bludgeoning him up. I love that overall Christian was taken out of this.
Yeah.
His role was significant, but didn't mean anything. Because Lucha could have kicked the door down, climbed over, whatever, because those weren't the rules. But it was just an easier way for them to get shit in and out of the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And Jack Jungle Boy Perry, no more Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or whatever they're going to be calling him. It is now just a moniker, not a name.
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck are they going to top this?
They had you'd have a high mountain. It set the bar high. Really did. Jack Perry, I'm just going to call him Jack Perry from now on. I'll probably slip up and call him Jungle Boy occasionally.
We both will.
But
Daniel Bryan's going to be on the show here in a minute, too.
Yeah, I know. Well, and so is Paige. And I said that on purpose. But good God. I mean, it was this coming out party. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was that coming out party. How do you overcome the odds? That type of thing. I'm glad Christian didn't get involved too much in this. He got involved just enough. The pickpocketing of the referee, I kind of chuckled at because I'm like, who leaves a key hanging out like that? What are you doing here? But I thought that was hilarious. But overall, this was just such brutal. And they told the fantastic story, the history perfectly. And this is what I liked. This is what I love about AEW. They go into that deep history. You know, Jungle Boy was 9, or when he met Lucha, and that as Bailey's chewing loudly, I had to see what the hell she was doing over here. But
Damage control, clearly.
Damage control. I was kind of surprised he got the submission victory with the snare trap. I thought that was odd. I thought they were going to bury him. Like it was going to be like a table spot, and then he could get a quick victory that way. But I thought that was interesting.
Did you watch the scrum at all then? I watched it.
Not yet.
I did not stay up.
I watched one part of the scrum, but that's for the main event.
Yeah, and
we'll get there.
From people that come up in the scrum, I'll kind of just bring up some stuff. You can go back and watch it if you have to do whatever. If you don't want to, at least you'll get some. Jungle Boy says in the scrum then, essentially, Jack Perry is going to be around, the whole moniker and everything. Then the question was asked, sort of kind of, him and Lucha are done. He feels that he knows Christian is still lingering, but he's got an injury. But Jack's like, I'm not going to stand here and wait for him. So the submission essentially told the story that
it's over.
This is where I thought there's going to be 2 or 3 more matches. The submission ended this essentially.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if Lucha is on TV in the next couple weeks at least.
I agree with that. I think to really sell this, they have to take Lucha off of TV. But it also begs the question to me, where does he go now? Like, what is
going to be Diesel to Shawn with Cage for when Christian comes back?
Right, but until that point, where does he go? What is he doing? He's not just going to be a menace to half the roster. Is he just going to hang out on Dark Elevation, or are they just going to completely? Maybe he's shelved until Christian's ready.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some Rampage fights. I mean,
I don't even think
as we trickle going forward, I have somebody maybe he could start a feud with or something down the line. I don't want to say we'll put a pin in it, but he can be around, or maybe he gets guidance from somebody else and something like. There's big men out there.
Oh yeah, there's big men to face, but
plus there's people coming back. It's very dark. Maybe they can talk to him. Maybe he just needs to be away from Christian. Yeah. And then it's just Jack and Christian taking care of their own shit. I'd be all right with that.
I would be too. Forges his own path forward, but it just doesn't seem like they're going to go that way. They're definitely going to keep him with Christian, at least through the Jack Perry rivalry. After that, I could see them separating and then moving on to something bigger and better. But
so shelved for like 3 more months.
That's what I'm thinking. Christian's back by Revolution. Then he comes back right around then.
Yeah. Trios title match. Listen, these first 2 matches took an hour. And I couldn't text anybody but the English professor because he was watching it. Cody from the 40-Year Dash had a jungle gym taking place in his house. He went to bed before this started. Jenks was forging new paths in Pittsburgh. I couldn't talk to him, so I reached out to the English professor. And I'm like, before we even talk about it, I'm like, holy fuck. 1 hour, 2 matches.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 14-hour card. I mean, a 7-hour card because there's 14 matches. He's like, I know. But I can't complain about it.
No, I mean, you just got to carry on, Wayward Son, and hope for the best.
I was wondering which one was going to say that. Listen. This is why I have missed them. We'll talk about Carry On Wayward Son here in a minute. We will. Let's talk about the match first. I bitch about trios matches. I bitch about Death Triangle against Top Flight and AR Fox. I bitch about Death Triangle against whomever because of the the crispness, whatever. The cleanness of the match isn't there. I'm spoiling it. Listen, this is going 7 because we find out later that this is the best of 7 series. This could be the best of 11, the best of 21, the best of 33. I don't care. Like, you know how I hate flippy shit.
Yeah.
No. Jenks, this is elevated for me. Like, this is, and I'm going to put it tag team. So it's a tag team match. This match has now just competed with the first Acclaimed and Swerving Your Money. Like, I don't know which one's match of the year.
Wow.
They're two great matches. I mean, we still have a couple more weeks before we do the Crushies. And listen, by the way, speaking of the Crushies, we're going to release, Jenks and I are going to sit down after this holiday and really say, here, guys, this is a Crushie list. So you're not, why didn't you get the vote? We'll have them online so you can see what is, and you guys can compete and talk about it and everything like that. But tell me how you can't put this in tag team match of the year.
You have to. You legit have to. And I don't know if
they can compete with the Acclaimed Swerve in Your Glory one. Do you think it's above it? Like, I am really stuck.
I think it's at the same level as that one. I think both are neck and neck, and I'm trying to remember. I have to go back into my notes, but there was Bailey might disagree, but there's an FTR one that I put up there too, and in upper right. Oh, it was probably Young Bucks FTR too, I believe. Those 3 matches this year just fucking blew everything out of the water in the tag team division, and
one of them maybe match of the
year, depending on But this one, you're right. That's all of these matches that you've seen with Top Flight and that, they just haven't had the refinement needed to make it look like it's actually doing damage or doing on purpose. It's just being done, telling a story throughout it. But I also think to that extent, Mark, the Young Bucks are really good at sticking it to the man with doing flippy shit, but they do it in the best way possible that it makes it more entertaining and more like what I'm going to go right to that super kick spot with the four of them in the ring with Penta and that's the stupidest thing you could have done, but Absolutely. It was fucking entertaining.
I marked out.
Yeah. And it was like, well, this is dumb, but this is fantastic. I love it. I love every second of this. And even when Ray and I think it was Matt. Was it Matt or Nick? I can't remember which Jackson it was. We're going back and forth with that opening exchange. You knew it was something special. Now, we know these, and I'm going to call it all 6 guys, have that chemistry to put on something special. So if you were expecting anything subpar or, oh, it's a trios match, something janky, you were completely misguided and you did not understand the assignment for this whatsoever. This was one of the best this year.
The story within it too, that there's still a story in between Pac and the Lucha Brothers involved in this too. Yep. Because
everything's intertwined. The hammer came up earlier in the match.
6 times, I think, in the match.
Probably 6 times in the match. And then they finally used it at the end. Now, I think that tells the story of now it's infinite possibilities. The hammer's going to tried to be used again. It's going to cost the Death Triangle match. Young Bucks and them going to use a hammer to win a match. It's going to go back and forth in this hammer. Eventually, there might be a hammer on a pole match at some point.
Yes,
that might be match 7. And as ridiculous as that sounds, these 6 guys are going to make it absolutely the thing that burns down the building and steals the Crushie for match of the year. Because that's just how it would work.
If it gets to 7, it'll be next year's Crushie.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that is fact, because they go, what is it? New Year's Slam is the 6th match, and then 7th match is
like January 11th or
January,
something.
yeah, something like that. That's right. So
how about that? That early in the year, we're like, fuck it, nothing is winning this.
Wouldn't that be crazy? And I'm not even saying this was match of the year. Let's say match 4 of this whole fucking thing is match of the year this year, right? Next year, match 7 is match of the year next year. I believe that's unprecedented for the Crushies to have
it is.
2 teams have match of the year 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's just how insane it is. But this has potential. I just don't know what they're going to do to differentiate each individual match. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I have the utmost faith in these 6 guys.
Oh, my God.
Every match is going to be something different, tell a similar story in the history between themselves, what's happened, Death Triangle, Soul Angle, and that. There's going to be 7 different matches happening here, and each and every one of them is going to keep you on the edge of your seat. You're not going to know what happens. And it starts yesterday with match 2. So they did not miss. They didn't miss on Carry On, My Wayward Son.
Yeah. Now that you know the Death Triangle one,
yeah.
Let's back up.
Yeah, because you brought this up. So you tell this with Carry On, My Wayward Son, in case anybody doesn't know.
Oh my God. Did you not even think about it?
I didn't even think about it because I had seen them want to play it. There was times where they've mentioned, they like to come out to this in interviews and that shit. It never even clicked.
It's just telling CM Punk to go fuck yourself. Carry on. Leave us alone. Get out of our business.
Yeah. See you, bye.
And as soon as that came out, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, this is before the fans even started.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm like, this is right off the bat to Punk to go F yourself. One of the Jacksons did Punk's knee in the corner. Did you see that?
Yep.
The fans, Jenks, because I have this in my notes too. We all said Bray Wyatt had the return of the year. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's a mark out moment. Like we knew they were coming back. We knew Bray was coming back as well. But just the circumstances of this, like, I don't know.
There's so much
about that.
There's so much real life drama built into this return, and the blatant disrespect they show during the return is something that it puts it up in the upper echelon of returns this year. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw the clip online of BTE. I didn't watch the full episode, but I saw the clip of the beginning of the match with the fuck CM Punk chants. They were playing music over the match, and then they cut it for just those chants to play through. So they were taking shots left and right, whether they wanted to or not, but whether you thought so or not. But oh my God,
the crowd was chanting for Colt Cabana in this match.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, it's not that I hate CM Punk. All right, I will wave CM Punk's flag for everything he did in the WWE. I love the return to AEW.
Yeah.
After the injury, he was a different CM Punk when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to separate his career. Like right now, I am being all elite, and I never thought I'd say that in my life. I am all elite. He was. I don't like the C word that they use for backstage because that's a real disease.
Yeah.
He was an issue backstage.
Right.
AEW may have other issues that we don't know about, but this was way too much into the business. Yes. Elite. Fuck CM Punk. I don't believe I said that. In AEW, yes. This was, yeah. But I heard that he may be back. He may be back.
He may be, but let's take it one step further. Outside of the match, they could not have picked a more dangerous time. I guess, I don't know if it's perfect, dangerous, stupid, whatever it is. Wednesday night, last night, Dynamite's in Chicago. So you're walking straight into a Lions pit of fire and hell and brimstone. They are
the
pumped.
Elite probably got booed out of the world.
Oh, they were booed. It was fuck the Elite. It was everything under the sun. The Elite's getting hated on Wednesday night, and I just I don't know if they realized they were doing that or they were doing it on purpose, but they're gonna carry on. My Wayward Son's gonna play very differently, and
because in the media scrum it was asked if it's a one-off, and Tony's like, nah, they've asked if they can use it for a while.
Yeah.
Kansas was okay with us using it. We made a deal, and they said, yeah, go ahead. Next matchup, the TBS title match. Nyla against Jade, first and foremost. Let me give you props, Jade. I love your whole cosplay. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that. You're a fucking Thundercat. God, who would have thought a Thundercat was going to be on AEW?
Not me. Never would have guessed in a million years. Never would have guessed it would be Jade that's doing the Thundercat. But hey, props.
This match for me, listen, two bigger women doing their thing, more powerful women, bigger moves. It was rough after the first two matches. So if you want to say what match lost for the night, this one to me, because it was also saddlebag what's up next. It was just, but I don't think it was a bad match. I'm just saying it was a saddlebag with three matches around it that it just couldn't compete.
That's where my head went. It was, you literally had the Elite returning before you, and afterwards you're putting four of the best technical sports entertainer wrestlers in the world right now. And yes, I'm including Sammy in that for right now.
My man.
Yeah, right. I know. But you bookend these two, they really had no chance. It unfortunately became that, and I know we use it in a more negative sense, but it was that bathroom break match because people needed to come down from the Elite coming up. You didn't know what was coming up next. Jade and Nyla put on a hell of a match, guys. This was not a terrible match whatsoever. They put on a hell of a match. It told a great story. It really put it down in my mind for the first time that, maybe Jade was going to lose this.
I thought that too.
So I think this was done right. Also did not know that was Marina Shafir dressed up next to Vicky Guerrero. Had no idea. I was like, who's this gangster trying to be cool? I had no idea who the hell it was. But
did Vicky have "Call Me Mommy" shirt on?
Yeah, something like it was "I'm Your Mommy." Mammy or something.
It wasn't Eddie's "Call Me Poppy" shirt or "I'm Your Poppy."
It was Mammy.
So she was wearing a Rhea Ripley shirt.
I'm very certain of that. Yeah.
What the hell? Good.
Maybe they thought nobody was good.
Maybe they really love each other, because I'm sure. I don't want to say I'm sure that they have, because that is Eddie's thing. Maybe they had to ask, can we kind of do something? Because I would think WWE and Vicky still have at least a handshake deal or something at some point. So she's like, yeah, let me wear a Rhea Ripley shirt tonight. Right. What?
It made sense. They came out in the lowrider. Yeah. They did it all. I mean.
So, yeah, I was the same page thinking, oh, my God, maybe she's going to lose. But she didn't. And I would put my glass of water tonight on the, 50-0 thing.
50-0, defeat Cheetah for that, and then
Stat.
I think it's Stat.
Next matchup, the ROH title. Sammy, Danielson, Claudio, and the Ocho. The crowd still hates Sammy. At the beginning of the match, they fucked him out of the building. They hated him. I was on the edge of my seat again. Just ready to roll. And I'm like, oh my God. You knew we were going to see Danielson, Claudio, Sammy, every way that you can make it. I didn't think Sammy was going to take that many shots, though, at Chris.
I didn't think so either. I thought it was going to be maybe a one-off or end of the match, they start getting into it a little bit more, and then they get separated real quick. He was legit trying to. What was it, the shooting star or the 450 or whatever the hell he hit on Jericho? I popped for that one. But yeah, he was
Spanish fly, which I think is probably the craziest thing that you can do from a standing position.
I still don't understand how that's fucking possible. That fucking standing Spanish fly. But all of that aside, the biggest moment I popped for in this entire match is when Claudio carried Sammy backwards and then all the way threw him out of the ring on Jericho, immediately turned around and Danielson hit him with the psycho knee. I thought it was over.
Did you think it was over?
I thought it was over. That was legitimately the best, probably the best false finish I've seen in ages.
2 7/8.
2 7/8. That was a legit 2 7/8.
Yeah.
My God. They did perfectly.
But I loved how it ended. Just the running Judas effect that knocked everybody over. Claudio, who kind of shook it off because it wasn't, as Tony was saying, full effect. So he gave him another one. And the pin was so random and awkward and everything. But that's Jericho. He does what he needs to do to keep this title.
Yep. He escapes.
This fucking card was filled with potential matches of the year. I'm telling you. This was, after this scrum that happened months ago, this was completely a reset for AEW, and it was amazing.
It's what I will go out on a limb and say it's light years above what they put out at All Out.
Oh yeah,
without light years. Every match hit.
This is their best pay-per-view of the year.
Agreed.
This is probably the best pay. This is, screw it. There's my crush you. This is going to be the pay-per-view of the year for me. I don't think Survivor, because there's one tonight. Survivor Series. This is the last pay-per-view. Death by Dishonor is in a couple weeks.
Right.
I don't think it's going to touch anything that AEW did. Sorry.
No.
This is it. I'll give the crush you to it right now.
Full Gear is running away.
Do it again.
Yeah. Full Gear is running away with it. That's for sure. I don't know. There's nothing else we could say about this match in general, but this was just fucking on point. Beginning of card to end of card. Like every match. Every single match. It told a different story. It got there differently. We're going to roll right into it. Now it had multiple women's matches, so I'll segue right into the next match. It's Legend versus Doctor.
And as pissed as I was, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was. I picked Britt. This essentially, I knew I was losing a 6-pack after this, and I'm like, but I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
Because, there's more to come. I really think there's more to come. But if there's not, I'm all right with that too. I was crying. Listen, when Saraya came out and she was almost crying, I was almost crying.
Yep.
When Britt becomes a bastard, I'm like, yes, my girl. End of the match, and she's hugging her brother. I'm almost crying again.
Yeah.
Like, emotions all over the board in this match. Unbelievable match. Great storytelling. Just beating the shit out of her neck.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
It went longer than we thought last week. Remember, we talked this was going to be maybe a 7-minute match, something quick. Now, I think it went at least 12, 15, somewhere in that range. So it played us. It showcased Saraya back in the fold again. You're right. Britt beat the shit out of the neck. It told a beautiful story. Yeah, you can sit here and if you want to nitpick things left and right, you go ahead. Because at the end of the day, this established Saraya is back in the fold, can still compete at a competitive level. She looked better than half the women I've seen in a long period of time. She's on the top tier game. Give her a couple months, more matches under her belt. It's like riding a bike. She's going to be putting together things. And I meant to say this after the last match. This pay-per-view, the quote Sheamus, is banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And this after banger after banger, I would count the 14, but we don't got time for that. But this was fantastic. It did what it needed to do. They hit the big moves. That page turner is still the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
But Britt wasn't buried with the loss.
No,
at
she
all.
wasn't. Because Britt looked like she was dominant. Looked good when she was hitting things. When she was locking in submission moves, Britt looked in control for the majority of the match. It was a good back and forth match. Great back and forth match.
Yeah.
Let's not undersell it.
Agreed. Possible. We'll get there. The TNT Championship, Wardlow Hobbs against Samoa Joe. What?
The
And
shock.
I'm saying that in shock. Like,
I'm saying
what?
in shock. What? Because as soon as it happened, I texted you, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was completely blown away by this.
Yeah.
I was not expecting Joe to walk out TNT champion, the double champion.
Jolton Belts Joe or whatever.
So, yeah.
Joe.
Joe, yeah. Like that, it's mind-boggling to me. You talked about, we can get into Wardlow's title reign afterwards, but this obviously was not the way I think majority of fans saw Wardlow's title reign ending. We thought maybe hooked by crook. We talked Hobbs.
Was hooked by crook because he didn't get, he dominated the match. He crushed both of them.
Yeah.
But he didn't take the loss.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt Wardlow. I still think his title reign was a bag of shit.
Yeah.
But his personality, his persona, his tough man wasn't hurt. We got, as you said, we got two feuds coming out of this.
Two big feuds coming out of it. And let's even go off of that a little bit. It proves inexperience here because it was a mistake by Wardlow. It may not seem like a big mistake, but it was a mistake by Wardlow that ended up just derailing his title hopes. And I'm hoping that's what they're taking away from this. Is he has to get, I would love to see them kind of build this up now as I have to be mentally tougher in the ring or something like that. You know, I don't know how they would build this up for Wardlow going out of it, but I want to see him like try to increase the ring IQ perspective of it.
Right.
I think let's get the brains to match the muscles that he has. That's kind of where I go with this is if they go that route, maybe the title reign wasn't great, but maybe this helps put him on an upper echelon. Maybe we come back to the TNT title one more time and he has a better run. More dominant victories, but better competition this time because he can outthink him, outmaneuver him, be better at it. But at the end of the day, title reign wasn't great, but the match was still a banger. Still did its part.
Agreed. Or does Wardlow get a different title at Death by Dishonor? Does he now challenge Joe? Because then you get your 3 matches.
Yeah.
And then you can get a unification that can bounce back and forth between ROH and AEW. When you're like, yeah, maybe. But could Wardlow be the ROH TV champion for a while? Because if there's been a title that's been relevant until Jericho got the heavyweight title, the TV championship has been around on AEW longer.
Yeah.
So maybe because the pure champion is now MIA again.
Right.
So Joe has had this one around. So Wardlow can still be doing that. They just switch titles at Death by Dishonor because it's an ROH pay-per-view presented by AEW because that's the way they're doing it now. And then whatever the next one is, or maybe just a great TV show, we get, okay, screw this. We're unifying this. And Wardlow becomes 2, and they're like, boom, this is what we're going to run with now. Because there's a lot of fucking titles in AEW and ROH right now.
Yeah, I like where your head's going with unification, but I'm also leaning towards you're not going to unify the titles, but have them carry 2 belts. And here's why. They're going to consider this what the Intercontinental title was at one point, the working championship, the work championship. Wardlow's a big enough name now in both companies. You could bounce him ROH, defend the TV title, bring him back onto AEW, you can defend the TNT title back and forth and back and forth. He doesn't need to be on TV every week. He can have a promo spot here, promo spot there, but he at least builds it up. It gives that title prestige going forward when they roll into this eventual that we think's coming weekly television show. I think they could do a best of 3 and have Wardlow do the double duty until maybe Revolution and still have Hobbs take that title, the TNT title off of him. Yeah. Because I think they would want him to have maybe the ROH title to have a more established star with that. And you have to admit it, Wardlow is an established star at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say Wardlow running with the ROH title brings a lot more prestige, brings a lot more eyes to the program when they eventually kick it off, if ever. So.
And then that releases Joe to maybe go after Jericho at some point.
Yep.
Depending how long the Ring of Jericho is going to be lingering around. Which I think is going to be for a little bit longer. Speaking of which, Jericho has a promo. Cassidy comes out last night. You got Jericho against Ishii.
Yeah.
And Cassidy against Hager in his awesome hat. So clearly last night was another pay-per-view following the pay-per-view, just a free pay-per-view.
Yeah, why not? Take anything away from War Games that's coming up at the end of the week. That's exactly what is happening here. It's take everything away from whatever WWE's got rolling out on Saturday.
No shit. I'm going to bite my tongue. Sting and Darby and Jay Lethal and Double J was everything it needed to be. And I said this was going to be the bathroom break match. Listen, there wasn't a bathroom break match. We've said that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to repeat which one we said because I don't want to continue to down that because it was a match.
Let me clarify that one. That was only there. It's only in that classified spot because of the 2 matches that were
surrounded
bookending it.
Right.
It was not in its own right a bathroom break match. No.
I love the body bag on the ramp.
Yeah.
I knew Darby wasn't in it. And then, listen, this is the only thing I will have to gripe about this. 6 million Stings come out with somebody else. You know one of them is going to be Sting. That's all I have to say. You knew one of them was going to be Sting wearing a Sting mask. That's all I'm going to say. But again, Sting's taking stupid risks with his 65-year-old body or whatever it is. That chokeslam from Satnam, he didn't land well.
No, he didn't.
He gets up and he jumps off the roof.
Yeah.
He's fine. Unorthodox, crazy match. If you want to nitpick, there's things, I don't care. This wasn't the sports entertainment match, if you want to say one, because you're right. I don't think Double J is lingering around or he's going backstage or something like this. This was great. This was fun. This was a nostalgia match for me. I enjoyed it.
I mean,
it was It just solidified that I was done, by the way.
It was. I completely agree. This was the sports entertainment match of the night. I love Darby. I love that Satnam got in there, started catching people. Darby first, and then there's a couple other ones. And I also love the fact that Sting couldn't bring him down for the Scorpion Death Drop. I thought that was such a cool way to do that because we know Sting. He's a guy. He knows sell shit. Sting! It's Sting, and he'll drop anybody. But the fact that he couldn't bring down Satnam really helped that. I think that really established Satnam as a more physical, dominant presence. So I thought that was a cool element to it. God, did your back hurt after Jarrett swung that guitar at the Darby's back? Because that did not look like it was a clean, nice hit at all. Ugh. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't a headshot, but Jesus, that looked horrid.
The only thing I'll say is Jay Lethal's too fast for Sting. There's clearly an age difference. The ending is, I'm going to say, the wonky part, because Lethal looked like he got a better shot on Sting than Sting got on Lethal, but that's how it ended. I don't care. By that time, I'm like, this is a 4-star fucking match. I'm good.
It was. It was good. It was chaotic. It did everything it needed to. I was fine with it. I loved it.
Next match, Women's Championship. Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm. Personal, hard-hitting match. I love the double knockout. I legit thought, I'm like, no way. We're getting the fucking rug pulled out from underneath us. It's going to be, because there hasn't been a match like that in a while. So I'm like, we're going to get this. This is going to, and then I was going to be pissed. And then the shenanigans happen.
They do coming.
Rebel comes out, gets in the way, does nothing like she normally does. Couple people said it was too soon for Britt to come back out after taking that loss. I said, nope. This is other wrestling fans that I talk. I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. There is 1, 2. There was 2 long ass matches in between, and a pro and other things. Now she got a DDT essentially.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Ricky Steamboat, Jake Roberts DDT outside the ring or anything. She took 2. Yeah. She shook it off. I think that was perfect, especially for Hayter, to get that championship and Britt and Rebel to be out there. It was. I love this match. Like I want to see Hayter and Storm go again.
Yeah. No, I can.
The scrum, Hayter was asked, so how are you and Britt? And then she pulled down the wall real quick. She's like, listen, me and Britt are friends. We met in the UK years ago. Since then, we've been friends. We've tagged together. We've done this. We've done that. We've done this. We've done that. She's the main reason why I'm in AEW. Britt is. Listen, we blow smoke up Britt's ass all the time. I think she's got so many connections because she made a loop around the United States.
Yeah.
I think Britt, because we've called her a pillar, I think she's more out there for the women that she has worked with as a talent scout. Like, I just thought of that this past week. I'm like, Britt is so established, especially the East Coast, but also in Chicago when she did Shimmer and everything. I'm like, Britt is the one going places recruiting.
Yeah.
So she pays a lot of props to Britt, but she's like, I wouldn't mind a match with her again sometime. Ooh, now I'm excited. But Britt doesn't need to be there right now. You have to let Jamie have her run. And I would think it'd be a long run.
I would agree with that.
And then real quick, in the scrum, it was also asked to Tony, what the hell's going on? And he's like, we have to think about what's going on with Thunder Rosa.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with any of your points from the match. So match was phenomenal. Loved the match. Loved the way it broke down. Thought Britt coming out was excellent on that. Let's go off of that. I think now it comes down to me, they have to take into account Thunder Rosa. There's going to be a match between Jamie and Thunder Rosa. Britt's tied up with Saraya for the foreseeable future. For me, is when they pulled the turn on Hayter. I think that's going to be the key. Britt's turning on Hayter at some point.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen. It's when does it happen? Because she's going to be tied up for Saraya. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does happen sooner rather than later. But right now, Hayter's going to enjoy this. I hope she gets through Thunder Rosa. But at some point, there is a plan because we got to go back to May, the Owen Hart tournament, where Rebel and Britt looked at each other like they had a plan in place in case Hayter became a problem at that point.
Yep.
Hayter's a problem when Britt is ready to go after that title. So whenever that decision's made, Hayter is a problem and there's a plan enacted. And all I'm seeing in my mind, flashing through my mind, is Evolution with Orton in 2004 where Triple H did the thumbs down and everything went, Orton's life turned upside down at that point. That time's coming. It just depends when they're going to pull that trigger.
I think it's months away. I completely agree with you. I think you're going to see a lot of buddy things for a while, giving Jamie her due props.
Yes, exactly. I don't think it's a revolution because I think that's the final blow off for Saraya and Britt.
She's going to fight herself.
I think it becomes, though, a double or nothing type of match. I think there's a turn costing her titles or something's going down. This is going to be what Wardlow and MJF kind of storyline was back last year. It's going to be this year for the title. Obviously, it's not going to be a steamroll job that happened with MJF, like MJF and Wardlow was, but we'll see. We'll see what this becomes, because I think whenever they do meet, I don't think Hayter's keeping the title after that match.
I don't either. It's just because I have a tooth tattooed on my arm. He's the hospital symbol. But let me say this, Mr. Jenks.
Yeah.
And let's see who wants to agree with this. AEW is just rolling. For the last couple of years, Wardlow, MJF, Kenny. There's a huge wave right now. I think 2023, there's going to be a lot of focus on the women in AEW. Tony's officially all the time there now, back and forth. Even without a title, she's somebody. Ruby should be coming back. There's more players for her. Don't forget about that. Jamie's your champ. Jade's going to get up to 50. Saraya's back. I mean, as of right now, it's only maybe a match a month or whatever, but let her get her, I was going to say metabolism. Jesus Christ, why metabolism come to my mind?
That's close.
But yeah, her legs underneath her. Britt's always there. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be a huge year that next year around this time, we're going to be like, man, the women just stole AEW. I just feel that Tony plays his cards right. And there could be more trickling in. We don't know. I think this 2023 is the year of the women in AEW.
I would agree with that. And if you think about it, each year has established something new for AEW. So 2019 into 2020, it was establishing AEW. We were establishing what AEW was. 2020 into 2021, we really started to establish what the singles competitors were, who those guys were, and who aligned to what titles and where they fight. Late 21 Full Gear to 2022 tag teams, FTR, Young Bucks, Swerve in Our Glory, Acclaim, they were really becoming the utmost focus, the trios titles now. Tag teams really took a renaissance in AEW over the past several months, and it really became an integral part of the programming. So I think your theory is right that 2022 from Full Gear to 2023 Full Gear is really going to be focused on the women. You have the talent now in place to have a ridiculous number of great women's matches, storylines, and things that progress the division forward in ways that may have never been seen before. The opportunity is there, and we saw it at Full Gear when they put 3 matches on for the women. So the opportunities are there. The people are in place. They have that legendary women's figure like they had for Jericho setting up the whole singles division. They have it with Saraya. Everything is in place for them to go forward with. It's just now time to execute on it.
And I will say there's one free agent that is working through school right now, and Women of Wrestling, the one out in I spoke with Jenny Santana, and she's now has done every show out there in a while, building her reputation back up. You tell me at any point in 2023, so here's one of my predictions. I don't think it's that far-fetched now. 2023, Tessa Blanchard walks through that door of AEW. shit has just changed again. And I'm telling you, I think it's more possible this coming year than any year that I've predicted it.
I can't argue with it. I can't.
The shitstorm that she's had is cooled down. She's doing things. She's doing it right. Just think, I will always wave her flag.
Yeah. No, I can't.
As a better
disagree.
person, I think she's getting there. And she's still a baby, age-wise.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's not that old. So, yeah, maybe. If you really want to send shockwaves, that might be the biggest signing you can make. Outside of others, but that's the biggest free agent right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because other people are doing
there are other things. Yeah.
Movies.
Yeah.
That could happen too. That would be crazy as shit. Tag team title match. Swerve in Our Glory, Acclaimed. It's not that I'm pushing this to the side. And it's not that I'm pushing it to the side at all. It's exactly how we both called it last week. Exactly. Match was great. Fun. I love the story of Bowens being hurt. Being the one that gets the pin. Screwing over Swerve. Lee, I still say this is not as good as their first match.
I agree with that 100%. And I thought that about halfway through. It just didn't have that feeling that it was on the same par or same level as their first match.
Because this match wasn't about the Acclaimed.
It wasn't. It was about Swerve in Our Glory and essentially the breakup.
Yeah.
A Swerve in Our Glory. It just didn't have that feel of, oh my God, they can do that. And it's amazing how those stories play out and change the perspective of the match. Still great wrestling, but there wasn't a driving force like the Acclaimed could overcome the top of the mountain and take it over at this point. So it didn't have that luster, but it was still a great match between them. Loved the ending. I love Keith Lee throwing the pliers away and walking up the ramp and just leaving Swerve. I thought that was excellent execution on that.
That was Max's favorite match.
He loved it. Everybody loves the Acclaim.
He's scissoring right now.
He's scissoring
with his mouth. My God. Then we get the best of 7 series. That was when the announcement came. On to the main event. AEW, MJF, Mox. Listen. I should have retained my championship just because I completely predicted this.
You did.
I should get some points, right?
I will give you 2 points. I'll give you 2 points on that one. I still have the third point. Yeah.
So the Saraya Britt match is the one still screwed.
Exactly.
With my heart.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes the heart's just not enough.
Fuck you. Knowing that I put that in your head, though, that I put that in your head as we were recording last Friday and talking about it, and you saw Regal walk out. By the way, as soon as Tony Schiavone says, "Oh my God, nobody expected this," I tweeted him, and then I'm going to ask him today as I'm in WrestleCade, "Did you read my tweet? Did you listen to Can Crushers last week? I called that." You're welcome, Tony Khan. Did you still think, or were you like, I fucking hate Mark?
I didn't say I fucking hate Mark. I'm like, son of a bitch, here we go. And then I was waiting for it. And then when he was telling Mox to go to the corner, get the ref, I'm like, oh, here it is. And sure enough, he slid the fucking thing around. I did love how he told MJF to throw away the diamond ring. It was almost like a passing of the guard type thing. Throw it away, be done with it, that type of thing. But yeah, I was like, fuck. God damn it, Mark was right. And I'll give props to Mr. Herrick too, because he texted me early that morning before Can Crushers dropped that this was going to happen. He had the same thought you did. So I'll give props to Cody Hetrick as well. He's just like, it's probably going to be Regal turning on Mox here. And sure enough, it happened. So
the Mox is coming back as a full-fledged heel. Unless he came back last night. I don't know. But full-fledged heel. He's going to hate everybody. And it's not just because it was in Newark. You saw this happening. Not saying MJF is his face, to use wrestling terms, a good guy or anything like that. No. Mox is going to take this and spin with it. Mox doesn't need to be around this title picture either for a while. He's had it essentially 6 months now, or if not longer, whatever. But I think he's going to reestablish himself as running a rough shot, just being AKA Randy Orton in WWE. He doesn't need a title, but when it calls for it, he's there. He'll take it off of anybody. He is, don't get me wrong, MJF moving forward is going to be the face in time. He is as of right now because he's a champion and everything.
Right.
You think of, to me, AEW, Mox has been that flag bearer for me. Not even Jericho anymore. I know he was your first champion. Mox is the one over Danielson, over anybody else. We can't call him a pillar because a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
But he's sure as shit the centerpiece, having weight on all the pillars in that whole fucking organization.
He is the centerpiece. Mox is that utility player you can call on and get anything out of anyone. I think when he fought Eddie Kingston originally, that brought the best out of Eddie Kingston, and then them teaming together brought the best out of Kingston. It did a lot of work. The BCC, Mox has done everything to bring a lot out of people and bring the best matches for where people are in the company at certain points. So I completely agree. Mox doesn't need anything close to the title anymore. Doesn't need to be anywhere involved. I think he's on the same level of, Kenny Omega. Omega doesn't need to be around the world title either.
No.
He just has to be there and have banger after banger, after banger after banger, even in New Japan, now that he's facing Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17. Mox has all the built-in storylines there to do whatever he wants. And he's not going to be a Jericho. Jericho wants those titles are involved in those titles. Mox doesn't need that. Mox just wants to fight. So find guys for him to fight.
Oh, the BCC is blowing up.
Oh, it definitely is. So he's going to have two prime candidates, maybe a third with Yuta if you want to throw Yuta back out there, plus MJF. I feel like they're going to have that return fight at Revolution, but this is going to be a very interesting 3 months until Revolution, and see how everything breaks down.
Yeah. All right, so you saw a little bit of the media scrum. MJF just blowing in, and I'm not going to cover much of the media scrum besides this. Him just blowing in and just saying, listen, motherfuckers, I'm the best thing in the world. What did you think?
I loved it. I thought that was amazing. I'm trying to remember the quote he said at the end. I know it was a Cornette thing or something like that. It was goodbye, fuck you, see you later, whatever the hell it was. But it was so on brand for MJF. For him to just stand there with the mic, interrupt it, upstage everyone under the sun, and then just leave 2 minutes later like I'm better than you guys, and you know it. So I thought it was excellent the way they did that.
Acclaimed was, I don't know. To me, they were a little. Bowens was happy that he validated him. Max seems a little standoffish. Like, I really think he doesn't like media, because he was shitting on somebody. I think it's somebody at Fightful Select or one of the other ones. I'm not sure, but he's like, guys, I don't like media because you guys say stupid stuff and blah 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 blah. So he was a little standoffish, but
yeah, no, I completely agree. I think I've seen him have rivalries with Sean Sapp and all that stuff, or just bicker back and forth. I think Caster's just there to have a good time, and he'll talk to who he wants to, and media's just whatever after the point. He says what he wants in his raps, but I think so. I think it's just it is what it is, but that's fair.
All right, as you guys can tell, on normally it's out of a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I gave it a keg. What more can you get besides a keg?
I think
back in the tractor trailer.
I think besides a beer bath that Austin gives you, maybe a keg stand, Let's go off of that.
Yeah.
You're going to give it a keg. I'll give it a keg stand. People were doing shots and upside down on top of the keg at that point.
So there's our spoiler for pay-per-view of the year for the Crushies. I don't think anything's ever gotten a keg or a keg stand before, but it was that reset. Because we're gonna trickle over into Survivor Series real quick, but Jenks, name the AEW champions right now.
Current ones, right?
Current ones.
Okay, so obviously MJF. We have Samoa Joe.
Home built. Samoa Joe. All right, you're legend.
Right. Acclaimed. Home built.
Hater.
Jamie Hayter. Home built. It's Jade. Home built.
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. Home built. I was going to go the Trios champion, so Death Triangle.
Not
really, but they kind of. But
most
out of those most of them are home built or have established themselves in AEW as big name AEW guys.
Yeah.
Because you can make the argument with Orange Cassidy, he was on the independents, but he became more relevant in AEW and built his character to a point where it's at the level it is now.
I'm going to say the same thing because people are going to be like, well, MJF was in MLW doing the Dynasty. I understand that.
Yep.
More people are watching AEW than watch MLW, and he transitioned into something not a ton of difference, but just enough that, listen, yeah, the Acclaimed weren't even excuse me, I just lost my voice. Weren't even a tag team till Tony Khan's like, I think you guys work together.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Do they work together?
Possibly tag team of the year.
Yeah. They're running. They're in the running.
So, yeah. Hater was by and I will give fans. The fans called for Hater.
Yeah. The fans
called
praised
for Hater. And it's cool that Tony listened already and said, all right, let's roll with this.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. It's amazing when you listen to the fans, what the reaction or what can happen. When you're not reluctant, let's listen to the fans. All right, let's see what Hater's got. Let's see what she did. And I saw a screenshot come up for the past couple of days of Hater being in NXT UK for just being in a squash match. So imagine going from that probably 3 years ago to now being AEW Women's Champion. I'm not going to say interim, the Women's Champion. To that.
Which I will not show this until I return from WrestleCade, by the way. Yes. It is an amazing edit that I did myself. So until she signs it, nobody will see it.
Exactly. Good call. But she was home built within AEW. She built herself up. Jade is home built in AEW.
Yeah.
And she is improving every single day and with every single match. So AEW is doing it right. They're just building up their talent and putting it on showcase.
Superstar after superstar after superstar.
Everybody can be a superstar in AEW. It's what made the Attitude Era so special in the 90s and what made WCW in that whole thing, the Monday Night Wars, so special. WCW was building the talent, but they also took talent WWE built up so that they had a rivalry. WWE built up all these mega stars, and that's why you see 99 to 2002, 3, the Austins, the Rocks, the Triple H's dominating, and you could have beginning to end match after banger after banger after banger after banger because
I'm not calling it that again.
But that's exactly where it was. I mean, because they built the stars up and they allowed them to grow under their wings and the fans could fall in love with them and relate to them. So that's what AEW is doing here.
Yeah. All right. Let's catch our breath. And then probably 10, 15 minutes, we'll go into what we think is going to happen tonight at Survivor Series, which I won't be watching till I get back from
WrestleCade.
WrestleCade. I was going to say Salem, but yeah. That's my Tuesday. That's what I'm doing Tuesday.
Nice. Very nice.
Hey, it's the most wham-tastic, jitterbugging, fanny packing, bum-bagging, fanny pack kid Cal here when, well, you are listening to the Can Crusher podcast.
And the champ brings it back. Had to get Mark a little, got to poke the bear a little bit on that one.
So this is the way you're going to bring back segment 3 for the next fucking 3 months. Awesome. Awesome. I only brought it back. I only did that when we talked about defending the six-pack and everything only on prediction shows. Nope.
You're getting on my case the night after I finally win the title. This is like my MJF celebration ceremony. I need to embrace it, enjoy it. I'll let it go after this week, but just let me have this.
Actually, you need to run with it. You need to get cocky. You need to do something because for a year and a half, I'm fighting Barry Horowitz, Iron Mike Sharp, Outback Jack. They were easy wins. At least I feel like your competition now.
Hey, I got lucky, and hopefully the luck continues.
It was a fucking roll-up that you won the six-pack on.
You know what? If I got to be Happy Corbin right now, I got to be Happy Corbin right now. Fucking lucky in Vegas.
Speaking of Happy Corbin, what's on the Survivor Series docket? And Jenks, let me tell you this. Even if I wasn't in WrestleCade right now, I would not be watching this at 8 o'clock tonight. I would be watching the Pitt and Miami game, which is an 8 o'clock game. This would definitely get pushed off. I know the War Games matches.
Yeah.
That's it. And fuck, we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow night on SmackDown for people to get announced or more matches. So this is why I don't want the title defense.
Yeah, and I want to I completely agree with this because there's either people are getting named. I think I heard a theory today that people could be removed based off events. There's things that can trickle down here. We'll get into each and every one, but Mark, to your point, there's 5 matches on this card, and 2 of them. Right. So we'll get through it. We'll roll through it, and we'll see where we land on predictions. So, all right, let's start. I'm going to leave both War Games matches to the end because I think we can cover those both at the end. Let's start with.
But let's say, realistically, if they don't open and close with the War Games, they screwed themselves because if you put them back to back. That's one way too long because they're going to be hour-long matches.
Yeah, so you're going to have 2 hours of the same match concept. Plus, it's going to be whatever the first match is going to be so fresh in people's minds that it's going to corrupt the second match.
Yep.
So I completely agree with you. They're going to have to bookend these. My prediction would be they're bookending. The women's match is kicking off. The men's War Games is ending. That's just how I feel.
You have to, right?
You have to, yeah. I would think so. That's what NXT's done before. When you have 2 War Games matches, I don't think you go away from that formula. You bookend it, and that's the way it goes. So
these middle 3 matches that you're going to tell me, you can't have one of these start the show, right?
No, you can't. No.
Okay.
So, well, let's do that then. Let's bookend this like we think how it's going to work. Let's go through it how we think it's going to work. So that would mean we're thinking the women's match is kicking off. So let's start there. Bianca's team.
I'm going to at least write down who we think somewhere on this mess that we have.
All right. So Bianca's team, which is right now a mystery player, Mia Yim, whose name has changed 3 times this week. Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I know.
Did she go for Meeching, which means crazy, right?
I believe it means crazy in Korean. It was Meeching. It was changed online. She embraced it, I think, on Twitter, and then all of a sudden it got rescinded, and it was just Mia Yim again. So
at least it wasn't Reckoning.
Yeah, at least it wasn't Reckoning. It is what it is. But anyways, Mia Yim, not Reckoning, not mentioned. Mia Yim, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bianca versus Damage Control, Nikki Cross, Rhea Ripley. Star-studded affair. So far, we don't even know who the 5th person is. There's speculation of who it is. But Mark, predictions. What are you thinking?
Well,
where do you want to go with first?
We have to talk about the speculation.
Let's talk about the speculation then.
If the speculation is that Becky's coming back, there's no possible way that Damage Control and Ripley Because, listen, we both say that Ripley and Yim are taking each other out.
Yeah.
However, through the cage, over the cage, under the cage, they're not going to be involved, I don't think, in a long-term story of this match.
Yeah.
If it's Becky that's not in the shark cage and she just gets to walk out from wherever, whatever, however they're going to do it, because this is a rough place to bring Becky back for a surprise. Are they all going in the shark cage? Are they just standing in old school war games where they just all stand around their own corner and then they run in, NWA style? Or are they going to come out one by one via the back? If they do one by one via the back, this is perfect scenario for Becky to be the last person for Team Bianca, and they just clean house. No chance in hell if Becky's back, Team Bianca loses.
Agreed.
If it's not Becky and it's Candice, as we have pushed for 3 months now before we even knew who was in War Games, Candice joins Damage Control, and they get the win to lead to Bayley getting another title shot at Rumble or something.
Yeah.
You have to carry Bianca into something with a storyline to Rumble.
Right.
This is going to bite WWE in the ass, by the way, not having anything in December. Because their stories don't go a month and a half.
Yeah. Well, it's going to force them to go a month and a half because they don't now. So it's going to have to force the issue, force them to go.
By the way, are you sitting down or are you standing?
I stood up during the recording because I was like, you know what, I want to stand now.
You've been standing and dancing. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm distracting him because I'm moving back and forth. I'm swaying. I love to stand sometimes when I work.
Legs, though. You just got done with your turkey trot.
I know, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I gotta get up and gotta move, gotta groove. I have a bad issue. See, this is the whole thing I do at work too. I'll go to the gym early in the morning, but then I'm always standing at my desk because I'd rather be standing up having meetings or working in that.
You have one of those up and down desks?
Yep.
Oh,
it's an automatic one, so I just hit the button and it'll raise up on the settings and all that.
Glad.
Listen, I got a bonus from work last year, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm spending this on a desk. So that's what happened there. But
I digress.
I digress too. I want to take you back. You mentioned how are they going to break this down? Like, how are they going to bring out these people if Becky's back? How do you keep the surprise alive? I go back to KO in 2019 War Games where he came out for Team Ciampa. He wasn't in the shark cage. They didn't announce who the fifth person was. They just brought him out from the back. They played a little suspense, let him come out of the back at that point. I think they can do the same with Becky here unless they're fully invested in getting people to watch the actual live event happening in person. So, or they need to get more people to watch it live, so they have to bring out Becky beforehand. There's an interesting theory. So I'm on board with you across the board. If it's Candice, this is going to Team Bayley. If this is Becky, it's going to Team Bianca to go forward with. I want to throw this out at you because I heard this theory a little bit ago, earlier today, when I was up at 5 a.m. There is a theory floating out there. We've seen Alexa really be distant from team members since the whole Wyatt thing popped up. Is there a possibility, because I think Team Bianca will be on SmackDown last night for you guys, looking for that fifth member, exploring the fifth member. Do they lose Alexa in this? Does Uncle Howdy kidnap Alexa and this becomes a whole Wyatt scenario now? And then they're down to 3. Who do you pull in at that point? Candice would be an option that would also still leave the door open for that mystery partner to come in. That was another monkey wrench thrown into this whole thing. I don't know if it changes the overall perspective of it if it happens, but the Wyatt stuff is happening for a reason. We just don't know why yet.
Again, I don't know where she's at. Carmella's a name that maybe trickles.
Yeah. That's fair.
That would be. Otherwise, who do you got?
No one.
We're gonna try to force feed Lacey into something. Oh wait, she's good again.
Well, do we put Raquel in there? Raquel's a big, has experience in the match, has made the difference. There's history with people involved. Raquel might be the
Yeah.
They're not doing anything with her.
Then you have two bigs on one team compared to only, you have Rhea. Wait, do you have Rhea? Wait. Yeah, they have Rhea, right?
Yeah, so Team Bianca has Mia at that point. Mia and yeah.
So then they have Mia and Mia could go anywhere then. I'm not saying she's not big, but there's just that storyline with her and Rhea where the Rhea and Raquel thing could rekindle.
Yeah, so Mia, I think, would be... Mia isn't the big of the match. She's just the badass of the team that can tackle the big on the other team. So if you put in Raquel, Mia can, to your point, go anywhere else in this match and make a difference.
Right.
So I think it'll be interesting. I don't think this whole Alexa thing's playing out yet. I think it will play out eventually, but I don't think it's yet. I'd actually be surprised if all of a sudden they're kidnapping people out of Survivor Series teams and we're losing them.
When you got a thin roster.
Yeah, exactly. So you're grasping at straws at that point.
Brooke. You're not. Come on.
You're very limited in the number of people. We struggled to name Raquel as the one woman that would replace Alexa. So we'll have to see where that goes. But okay. Yeah.
There's our prediction, by the way. If it's Becky, it's Bianca's team. If it's not, it's Bayley's team. I mean, it sounds stupid and a cop out for us, but
it's true.
Yeah. So fuck, I'm not writing anything down. Well, I'm gonna write both down, depending.
Yeah, both, depending on circumstances. Okay. All right, up next, SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda, Shotzi. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's Ronda.
Yeah.
Or Shotzi, but
no, it's not or Shotzi. It's
no, I said poor Shotzi. Poor Shotzi, yeah.
It's Ronda. Maybe we get a trickle into somebody for her down. I don't know. I think Baszler's involved. I'm still saying that at some point we're getting Ronda against Baszler before we get to WrestleMania. This has to break. I don't know. The sad thing is Ronda doesn't have anybody to go after her until Flair comes back.
Yeah.
Or Becky. But we have that planned out at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Now we just put Becky on Team Bianca.
To get us to maybe a Rumble.
This is not going to be a good pay-per-view. I hate to say this.
Outside of
wise, maybe match-wise, we're going to blow us out of water, but storylines, they're fucked.
Storyline-wise, not great outside of the War Games matches.
Right.
I will say that 100%. We'll go to the next match because it has a storyline to it.
Okay.
I'm
going to get angry.
I don't know if you're going to get angry. It's AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. It's Judgment Day leader versus the club leader, which to me, I don't know why you're not making this a 3-on-3 traditional Survivor Series match, but that's just me. But yeah, it's AJ versus Finn.
Because we've already had that. Listen.
Well, we haven't had this match since 2017.
Yeah. Right. From what I've read this past week, I don't know. I would be shocked if we were going to start seeing the falling apart of Judgment Day, but Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest, damn it, just read for a Marvel.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably be trickling out for a while. When does that? I mean, usually you read and then 6 months down the line. I mean, you have time. But
from what I read,
either one of these two in the match.
Well, what I read, it was for Black Panther, which just came out, so he wouldn't be leaving necessarily.
Right.
This would have had to. So unless he has something lined up, and they're like, "Hey, man, we saw your read from the Black Panther movie. We have something else for you, maybe a Disney Plus show. Come on in." But to your point, there could be times he might be circling out. People are going to start filtering out of this whole thing. In Judgment Day, where does it go after the club anyways? We keep saying this.
Because Ray's hurt.
Ray's hurt. Ray's on the
Legitimately
shelf.
hurt, so
yeah.
I don't know. So who's going to win this match?
Who's winning this match?
Oh, by the way, the Good Brothers are going to Japan.
Yeah, in December.
Yeah. So who needs the win? Does AJ ever need a win? No.
Well, no.
Does Finn need the win? They've been picking up pay-per-view wins and a couple other wins here or there. I don't know. Like, it's going to be an amazing. I think this maybe match of the night, wrestling holds and stuff, match of the night.
Yeah.
For shits and grins, I'll say Finn.
I'm going Finn too because you brought up the good point. Good Brothers going to Japan next month, so they're not going to be around. Why would you have AJ win if he's not going to have his backup around? Don't do damage to the Judgment Day if you're losing half your face team. Keep Judgment Day united, strong. You might as well keep rolling them through to the match with Dominic and Ray at WrestleMania. So I gotta go Finn.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2. Oh. Okay. Ready for it?
Yeah.
U.S. title match.
Pissed all of a sudden right now. I'm getting hungry.
It's fine. You're getting hangry. Mark's getting hangry. We'll get him out of here. There's only 2 matches left. U.S. title match. Seth freaking Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory. I think this is just Seth Rollins going to win this match. I think it's just buttoning up these 2 storylines. I think it's too early to give Theory the title back, especially since we're turning a new leaf with him. Let's keep him building this up yet. Bob doesn't need it. He's fighting Viking Brock in a couple months again. It's Seth Rollins that's carrying your brand for the next foreseeable future, whenever that is.
Agreed. But let me play devil's advocate, even though I'm hungry and ready to go. Who takes the loss? Bob can take the loss because it doesn't matter, but it matters because he's the biggest human being in this match. Theory can't take the loss because he's rebranded as the man now instead of not Becky Lynch the man. He's not a boy anymore, the golden child or whatever. He's Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You give him a loss right now after what he did, what was it, last week or whatever, I'd be like, this man sucks. I don't think Seth is losing. Without a doubt. Seth is written down for both of us, yeah. But or does this end? And I'm not saying, does it end in a pin or anything?
I don't know. To me, it has written on it, Theory's taking this loss. To me, this is Theory's loss. Because I think he's still fresh in this new persona, and a loss here would piss him off further to get to deep dive into it more. I think they could play more with a loss, with Theory taking a loss here. I can't see they're doing Bobby. Bobby wouldn't take a pinfall. Bobby wouldn't take anything along those lines.
Does Brock show up?
Maybe Brock shows up and F5s him. Because, now that's a good point, because what happened at the end of Crown Jewel match? Bobby attacked Brock afterwards. So is Brock attacking Bobby in this one, taking him out of the picture, and then Austin gets caught? Or is he just left in the middle of the ring right to the picking for whoever is involved in the match? Either way, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
That rocks out with it. So
listen to us gush about him last week. Go ahead.
Seriously. All right, final one. War Games. Brawling Brutes. Drew McIntyre. KO versus the Bloodline.
Right. You're not asking me who's going to win this. Please. You're not asking me who's going to win.
We got to get on record. Who's going to win?
Right. The Bloodline. And if you say anything different, I'm going to call you a big fat liar.
I will say the Bloodline. I do think, though, we start to see the cracks from Sami Zayn in this thing. Because I think there's going to be because Roman's in this match, they're not losing. Let's be honest. If this was a Roman-less match, the Bloodline would have lost.
Yes.
But Roman's in this. Roman's not taking a loss here. I think there's cracks with Sammy and KO. I don't think Sammy and KO strike each other, and I think that gets noticed in the match. So I think this starts the falling out with Sami Zayn.
And I think that Roman's Royal Rumble opponent is also in this match.
Is it on the opposing team or his team?
On the opposing team.
Okay. So then you're talking about KO at that point. Are you talking KO or no?
No.
Sheamus. You're talking Sheamus.
I'm talking new marriage, new haircut.
Sheamus. Got it.
Because I, as much as we love the Imperium and the Brawling Brutes, that's gone. Because we wanted Sheamus and Gunther until it rained in Africa.
Yeah.
I don't know why that just actually popped into my head, but it makes sense. But we have the World Cup going on.
Yeah.
So Sheamus is out of everything because he had to go get married, the son of a bitch. No. But yeah, I mean, I still think that what you said months ago, it's more Sammy and KO taking titles from the Usos.
Yeah. I think Sammy is we got to start somewhere, getting the fall happening. I think KO and Roman could cross paths at some point, but it's written that's the tag team title for them. That's the only team that could take the tag team titles off the Usos. So Sheamus fighting Roman, it already started. They started this last week.
Yeah.
It's there. It's written on the wall. It's definitely in the line in the cards. So in 2 months, I think that's definitely going to be Sheamus and Roman. But this plays into WWE has to figure out how to long-term storytell. And long-term storytell in WWE is more than a month and a half. How do you get us to 2 months? How do you get us to 6 months? We kind of see it now with Roman and Brock, or not Roman and Brock, but Brock and Bobby. But Brock and Bobby don't touch each other for months on end now.
Right.
So it's not long-term storytelling when you don't have people on the same card week after week after week. If I were to take it, the Bloodline might be a perfect example. They're continuing. There's things happening. Things are breaking apart. People are moving on. It's starting to get the ball rolling to what would be next year's WrestleMania. So it's getting there. So we got to see what they can do storyline-wise if they can actually tell a 2-month story without having these guys touch.
It's going to be rough. I really think until let me give me a date. Well, first and foremost, can you get on your old computer machine? What day is Royal Rumble next year? Is it January 7th?
No.
It's later.
28th.
Holy mother of fuck. So you have legit 2
months.
That's Rumble. We're sitting here and it is November 24th. 2 months and 4 days, if you want to be a dick.
Yeah.
To tell this story. They pulled day 1 away, which probably could have helped them. December is a write-off then, essentially, for WWE.
Yeah.
They're just like, just go out and have matches. Because we can't tell anything until essentially 3 weeks
January
before
1st.
Rumble.
Yeah. Well, that's why you go out and hire the Marvel guy, right? You hire the Marvel guy for your long-term storytelling. That's what he's doing there.
Yeah. Oof.
See what happens.
Ask Can Crushers coming back in December. Hold on to that date. We'll let you know next week, probably. Well, we'll have an Ask Can Crusher, and then
we got Crushies, and
then we have the Crushies.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks. We have winners coming. That'll be a week.
Yeah.
Oof.
December's gonna be fun.
December's gonna be rough.
We're gonna have to be very entertaining in December.
Yeah. All right, it's time to eat. Guys, I know that it's Saturday, but Jenks and I are going to go eat. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. As you're listening to this, I'm now in line to see Tony Schiavone and David Crockett to get a cool picture autographed. Another edit that I made. Again, if you want to see these, ask me. I'll show you, but not until they're autographed and they're mine. And that guy. My page one, son of a bitch. My Soraya one is actually just a nice picture of what you oh, yeah.
You did so well. You did so well. Go get some turkey.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Get some turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. Give it right.
All right, guys. That's it. Last week's wrap-up was horrible. At least we're joking. I hope everything was safe, happy, and joyous for you. We love you, Jenks. Put some tape on your legs. You've been dancing, so your legs are clearly fine.
They're good. Better than I thought they would be. So I'm going to go fill my belly now. And, then I won't be fine. So I'll be rolling home at that point. It's going to be rolling me like Violet on Willy Wonka.
Barrel, we'll have a barrel. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.